Hey, it's the Cindy Sweet Show, and we are back. Clay Cozy joining me here on 92.7 FM and 95.3 FM HD4. We're on TuneIn Radio, Shoutcast. We're live streaming on YouTube. We are live streaming on Facebook as well. And I am Cindy, and it is my just absolute honor to host this platform. It's Cindy's choice to make a positive impact in our community, and Clay Cozy is joining me today to do that on Black Friday. It's better in here, I think, than being out there, Clay.
Could be worse. We could be at the mall. So,
yes, and it's my absolute passion to support community initiatives with a special focus on cultivating community collaboration and supporting social capital for small businesses. And real quick, we were talking about the events coming up that Clay is with ServPro. I'm Cindy's Choice, and we're collaborating on some contributing to the community, and we're doing that through the code drive that ServPro has, that Clay has initiated through ServPro, code drive for the homeless. And where else, Clay? Or we're going to do the live remote from the community kitchen on the 15th. That's Friday the 15th. Where else can people contribute coats and blankets and so forth?
Well, of course, they can do it there. They can come to our headquarters. We are at 1211 Latta Street. Latta Street is by the post office on Amicola Highway, that corner. And if you go down there, we're the first green building on the left. I promise you, you can't miss it. Looks like Kermit was there. They can bring those by our office. We also have insurance agents around town that are putting boxes very graciously in their offices to check with whoever you have your insurance with, State Farm, Farmers, whoever that may be. And you can bring coats there. We'll be glad to pick those up for you. This is just something that's going to be running through January 2nd. This is not just a Christmas thing. This is it's wintertime and it's cold.
It's cold, yes, and it's cold early. It has me concerned. Yeah. I was homeless in the summer, and that was bad. But that's I just I think about that now, for goodness sakes. It's like I know what it's like out there. And also Summer Cares. Summer Cares is a program where Summer is collecting shoe boxes full of smaller items like toothbrushes, toothpaste, shampoo, deodorant, combs, dental floss, hand wipes, hand warmers. What does that say? Small. I can't read. Like little things of sanitizer, cough drops, chapstick, those kinds of things. You can collect those in a shoe box, and we're going to actually distribute those on the 15th. So if you want to drop those by 4706 Hickson Pike, that's the radio station here, Nuclear Radio, 4706 Hickson Pike. We're across the street from Bojangles, down behind the Goss Insurance Building, a little studio hidden here in the back. And you can bring those items by, and we will be distributing those on the 15th to the homeless veterans. And again, this is a chicken salad chick. I'm sure they'll come by. I'm by the community kitchen all the time donating chicken salad chick. So I'm sure they'll be coming by with some food donations. They'll be feeding and supporting the meal of the veterans that day, along with Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is always a good contributor. Yeah. I mean, that's I think what you know Chick-fil-A for.
Well, the Cathys are just that started that. Kathy that started that has always had a heart for just helping people.
Exactly.
It wasn't just all about the bottom line for him.
They know about cultivating. I mean, they have a true servant's heart, just the way, like I said, that's why I work with Chicken Salad Chick, because Josh, like me, has a servant's heart. So we're going to collaborate well together. But that's how you create social capital.
Right.
But you can't go in. I mean, from my experience, from what I've seen, you can't go into it with that intention of what you're going to get back. That is not true giving, and it will not work out well for you.
It doesn't work. And this is so different than traditional marketing, traditional advertising. Of course, that's part of the business world that I've been involved in my whole career, is marketing, sales, and advertising, business development. And everything teaches you to go out, you negotiate pricing for the best rates on radio. You're trying to position yourself in front of your customers to get your message out. But the reality is, Cindy, we are all so busy. We're saturated with advertising messages, and we just tune them all out. We don't hear them.
I talk about that a lot, because that's a lot how as a marketing business, I have to help people stand out as a marketing professional. You have to help your business stand out. And the best way to do that is through relationships.
Exactly.
There's no other way. The busy business owner, ServPro can afford you. That's awesome. They have you to focus on that for them. Small businesses can't afford that. They've got to run their business. And I've been there. I've been that little guy that I think 40% of businesses make a profit, 30% break even, 30% lose money. I've always been the break even person. I go through all the stress of owning my own business, but I just make a paycheck. So it's kind of not worth it when you're kind of stuck there. And now I'm doing something bigger than myself, but it's because I realized what I don't have time to do, and I understand clearly I can go do that for other small businesses and collaborate them so we can do that together instead of just helping my small business. I can help a bunch of small businesses.
Well, and that's, as a business owner, you're just trying to make sure that you've got enough money in the bank to make payroll on Friday. Been there, done that, owned a couple of businesses myself, helped a lot of folks get their business plan written, get it off the ground. And you're so busy executing your business, you don't have time to market, and you don't have time to give away. You say, hey, I need you to volunteer to do something. That business owner they're going to suffer a breakdown.
I know that fear because the first thing I feel is guilt because I want to help. But the stress starts coming because if I think about adding one more thing to my plate, my brain is going to burst.
Right.
And so I relate. I totally get it. It's not that people don't want to give, but owning a small business, being an entrepreneur is challenging enough on its own. And to try to get the balance of everything that it takes, which capital is key, but that social capital is just as, if you've got the financial capital and you can't invest in your social capital, it's all for naught.
Well, and that's the thing. And everybody thinks about capital. They think about, okay, you got money in the bank, you have assets. But as you and I were talking about, the new currency, the new capital in today's economy is attention. Everybody's preoccupied. They've all got their own thing going on, and everybody's afraid. We're all afraid, especially after the economic meltdown that the country has been through. We look at a divided country where Democrats are afraid of Republicans, Republicans are afraid of Democrats.
I love that you use the word afraid. Like, that's what it is. Fear is at the root of almost everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid. I love conservatives and I love liberals. It's like I love people and I focus on the positive and what we can do together. And I'm not afraid of what we don't have in common.
Right.
Or of them trying to make me look bad because I don't believe. That's part of the fear. Is people don't want to look bad or be. I'm trying to think of the right word. I don't want to say attacked. But if you're on social media, you know what I mean. It's like we clam up because we don't want to be attacked for being honest. But I'm not afraid of that because I focus on the positive. I focus on what we do have in common and what we can do together. So there's no fear there.
Right. Well, and if people come out, if they'll come out to the live remote at the community kitchen, what you find out about people that are homeless, what you find out about people who are having hard times is at the end of the day, they're people too. They have the same hopes. They have the same dreams. If you're a conservative and you get to know your liberal neighbors or vice versa, what you find out is we all want the world to be a better place for our kids. We all want to be safe. We all want to know that things are going to be just a little bit better tomorrow than they are today.
Yes. And if you are having a lonely holiday season, I like to reach out to those people. A lot of people are alone. They're not necessarily homeless, but they're alone. Their family may be far away, or they don't have a lot of family. There's no better time to get out and focus on others that don't have it as well as you do. And you'll just appreciate that getting out and helping someone, despite what you're dealing with, is so healing and so empowering in your life. And it's a great way to just show up and contribute. And you'll just be so surprised at the rewards that come back to you if you're not focused on those rewards.
Exactly. And that's, back to the business owners and the business side of this, Cindy, that's the thing that appealed to me initially about your business model is you're filling that void where you're really becoming that social face, that public face, the social capital for that business that can't afford social capital.
Right. And it's one business at a time. I was homeless 2 years ago. So I've had to build one relationship at a time. And that's how it has to be. I've got to be patient, as you brought up to me in the beginning. You've got to be diligent, but you've got to be patient. You have to know you have a purpose. And that my purpose is to be able to help so many businesses because I've been there like you. I've been a business owner. And I understand what it takes. And I understand that with me doing this, even though it's kind of a slow go to get started, I'll be able to make a big difference for a lot of small businesses who don't have the time to even start applying themselves to it.
Exactly. And since we're talking about small businesses, let me just give a quick shout out. Tomorrow, Small Business Saturday. So get downtown.
Yes.
Get to these local, independently owned businesses. Have lunch at Chicken Salad Chick.
Yes.
Locally owned. Josh is doing good stuff in the community, and that's the kind of stuff we need.
Yes. Don't write a franchise off as a big company. Those are small local business owners working just as hard as the mom and pops. Chicken Salad Chick is a great example. And I know Nooga Radio is visiting a lot of small businesses tomorrow, and they'll be doing some live remotes and supporting small businesses. And that's and they support me, and I appreciate that so much because they know I support small businesses, and I appreciate this platform because they really want to help.
Well, and that's, small business owners, Cindy, again, they're so busy executing, and they know I've got to make this much money this week, or I'm going to have to close my doors. I got to make this much money by the end of the month, or I'm not going to be able to pay that power bill, or that internet bill, or that advertising bill, and
or that employee. That is
or their employee. They got to make payroll.
That's the tough one. That's the tough stress. Is really getting your people paid.
Well, I had my very first company. It was a very fast-growing construction company. I had 14 full-time employees, and I'm a young guy. I wasn't even 30 years old yet. And I'm looking at this huge payroll that I had. And I mean, Thursday nights, I didn't get a lot of sleep because Friday was coming. And I knew I had to make sure that was 14 families that were counting on it.
Another one of our similarities, because I'm familiar. Fridays, I spent all day scrambling for checks. Collecting, trying to get jobs done and collecting so I could get people paid. And they were used to that. They were used to meeting me at 8 o'clock at night to get their check because they knew I was in Houston, Texas. It was going to take a while by the time I went across here and over there to collect checks on jobs so I could get everybody paid on time.
Well, and that's when it's hard for that business owner to have the patience they need for marketing, because they look at it and the first thought is marketing's an expense. This is just another check I have to write. And so it's hard for them to have patience to let that work. But and you've learned the hard way and now can help others understand it is all about relationships.
Well, and the hard way professionally, but the hard way personally as well. And my story is getting out there more and more, and it does relate. I want people to understand that this happens a lot in personal lives, and it's helped me to understand what was most valuable in my professional life. But when you're raised without a healthy network of support, and you're on your own at an early age, and you have a lot of challenges, it conditions you to be very independent, very resourceful, and very, I had deeply rooted abandonment issues. And when that's there and you don't recognize it, you're sabotaging relationships constantly. And you think you have something to prove, and you have to do it by yourself. Because in your mind, you can't depend on anybody to stick around. So there was, when I finally got that revelation of what was going on with me, I understood what needed to happen. Well, you don't just jump and make that happen. Like you said, that's where the patience really comes in. Because you have to go back and undo everything that you learned so that you can relearn the right way to do it. And it's been quite the process. And it did lead me. It led me to homelessness. But I sure did not go homeless on purpose. But there is great purpose in it, because this isn't an abandoned little girl anymore.
Right.
I know I'm protected. I know I have the courage to face what I need to get to a better place. And I know I'm protected, and I can move forward. And now I can help others that much more because of it. And there's a process there that I'm eager to help people with. Right now, professionally, I want to help personally too. If I can be encouragement to anyone in their personal life, if there's so many people that have the same disadvantages and a lot worse than I did, and they've got the same challenge ahead of them. And if you're one of those people listening right now, don't you dare give up hope. Don't you dare give up hope. It all starts with hope and knowing that other people did it and you can do it too. And of course, I have to give a shout out to Jesus. Praise God, hallelujah. But no, I have to give a shout out to Jesus, because that's what got me there. And I've had a changing of the mind. I heard a young person tell me that they were defending someone, and you say, well, their mind, through the trauma they experienced as a child, their mind is fixed now. That like solidified something in their brain. And I'm like, whoa, that was me.
Yeah. And
I made a choice to start thinking differently, and now my brain has changed. And that's a miracle. That's our bodies are designed to heal themselves. And if I can encourage anyone to start thinking differently and heal your brain, please do that.
Well, and you do that with businesses too, because what you've really formed with Cindy's Choice is that support system
Yes.
to be able to allow that small business person. You're an expert in your craft. If you're a plumber, if you're a hairdresser, if you're a dog groomer, whatever your business is, you're an expert in your craft. That's why you went into that business in the first place.
Yes.
Well, you might not be an expert at marketing. You might be a brilliant engineer, but you can't stand to go to that chamber function and you got to meet strangers. And we've all been taught since we were a small child that, stranger danger. Those folks are scary. Don't talk to strangers. But you can help folks overcome that.
Yes. Yes. And or we just do it for them. They don't have to become the expert marketer. You stay expert at what you do and let us give this to us. We'll take this off your plate and take care of this for you.
Exactly.
And it works out really great because we've got into this before talking about personalities, which you and I've changed a little bit. I told you we're both ENFP. Now, when I take the last 3 times I took the test, the Myers-Briggs test we're talking about, I'm entrepreneur, and it's very close to ENFP, but a couple of things that I've focused on have changed because I need to be in that role now.
Right.
And that's amazing, though, but I'm so glad I've done those tests over the years and seen how I've evolved, because a key thing with most people is they don't look at themselves and really analyze who they are, and we don't want to look at our weaknesses because it's hard. It's hard to look at what's wrong. We're bored with that, and that's where low self-esteem issues and so forth. Balance and focusing on what's right, make sure that we don't get overboard with that, and then focusing at our weaknesses and strengthening those.
Right.
So that's a great way to do that with the Myers-Briggs. Myers-Briggs is the test that I like. I'm sure there's plenty of other ones out there.
Well, and that's the thing, folks, is you don't have to do it all by yourself. And the more you do try, and that's a hard thing for all of us as Americans to understand, because our heroes are all, self-made people that started with nothing and built up something, and it looks like they did it all their own, but it really does take community.
Yes.
And it really does take allowing that support network to come into your life. It's there. That's the biggest problem with a lot of homeless folks, is you stay homeless because you're not willing to step out and let somebody help. And that goes back to the fear thing.
Right. And that's why Cindy's Choice is focused on community collaboration and social capital for small businesses. Because like I said, it's like Josh Patton is my best example, because 3 franchises, for goodness sakes, that he runs now. And he's gotten out there and proven he's a major contributor to our community. Most everybody knows him through the chamber and so forth, but he can't be out there as much anymore. So he needs to duplicate himself. Exactly. And have someone out there doing the giving for him, the contributing for him, and the cultivating the relationships, expanding on what he can do. And so he's the perfect example of the small business that Cindy's Choice wants to gather, that complement each other. I Love Juice Bar is coming on with Cindy's Choice in 2018. They're very giving. They help at the homeless center tons. And that it's just one business at a time to come together and create these collaborations that are not just going to be able to save money and thrive more to increase economic development, but make a bigger impact for our community.
Well, one of the things that I think is great about the Chattanooga community, and I used to say I was a newcomer to this community. I realize I've been here since 2009 now, so I don't know that I'm necessarily a newcomer anymore, but the business community here gets involved in the larger community and gives back like no place. I've lived all over, and no place have I seen it, a community that just wants to encourage and help. Like I see
You're
here.
so right. I heard on, I was listening to the David Tulis show on my way in, and he said that Chattanooga has 3 times more. I don't remember how he said it. But we have 3 times more things going for us,
right,
than any other city in our state, and 6 times more than a lot of areas in our state. Something special is happening here, and I feel like I was led here to do what I'm doing because it complements what's already happened. Chattanooga is a city known for change. I love spotlighting the change makers here on the show, and there's a spotlight on this city, and people are watching, and things are going to be duplicated that happen here.
Yep, absolutely. Well, it's a fantastic community to be involved in. If you're one of these people that's not connected, get connected, and you just about can trip over somebody walking out the door.
Yes.
To try to get involved in, whether it's a charity, whether it's a church, whether it's just going to school and helping the kids that are at school.
Awesome. That's a great note to close up our show with, Clay. I can't believe we're out of time already.
No, this has flown by.
This happens with us every time. It's why I love having you on. We're so in sync with our passion and our energy to serve and to help. Thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy's Toy Show. Join us again on 92.7 FM every Friday at 11 a.m. That's the wrap.
Thank you.
Traffic, news, and information. Nooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM. 3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news. Now.
On Wednesday in Hickson, sheriff's deputies say that a man tried to burglarize the Chattanooga Fishing Fund. The owner noticed what was going on video monitors, called 911, and sheriff's deputies chased the suspect via motorcycle all the way to Chester Frost Park in Sawney Daisy, where the suspect then jumped into the frigid water to try to escape. Onlookers tendered a boat to sheriff's deputies so they could fish the freezing thief out of the water. They took him into custody. Chattanooga police arrested Demetrius Terry, who was accused of approaching two women at Coolidge Park with a gun, demanding their purse and their money, and making off with it. The two women picked Mr. Terry out of